Welcome to Warframe, where equipping your stealth frame with a shotgun sword hybrid is considered very sneaky. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound very sneaky. Well, considering you can also equip it with a grenade launcher and it works perfectly fine, it is. God, I love this game. So first of all, how do we get Loki and Loki Prime? Well, to get Loki, you will have to defeat the Hyena Pack, which is a boss on Neptune in the mission Samante. And to get Loki Prime, you will have to venture into the Void. So the blueprint comes as a reward from Tower 2 Capture, Tower 4 Interception on Rotation A, and Tower 2 Sabotage. Helmet comes as a reward from Tower 3 Sabotage, Tower 4 Sabotage, and Tower 4 Survival Rotation C. Chassis comes as a reward from Tower 4 Sabotage and Tower 4 Survival Rotation C once again, and systems come as a reward from Tower 4 Defense Rotation C and Tower 3 Sabotage. And right now, at the time of recording of this video, this is the same for PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Both Loki and Loki Prime are pretty squishy, with Loki only having 75 health and shields, which go up to 225 at rank 30, and only 65 armor. However, his energy is decent at 150, which goes up to 225 at rank 30, and he's really fast with sprint speed of 1.25. He also comes with a D and a V polarity and a dash polarity in the aura slot. Loki Prime comes with the same amount of health, shields and armor, but his power is higher at 175, which goes up to 262.5 at rank 30. His sprint speed is the same of 1.25, but he comes with 5 polarities, 2 Ds, 1 V, 1 dash and a dash in the aura slot. And let's move on to the ability. So Loki's first ability is called Decoy, where Loki creates a holographic decoy that draws enemy fire when deployed. It has 400 shields, 200 health, and it will last for 25 seconds. And this decoy will shoot at enemies with either Leto for regular Loki or Lex Prime for Loki Prime. Now the shots don't do any damage, but they can proc impact to stagger enemies, puncture, which will reduce the damage they do by 30% for 6 seconds, and slash, which unfortunately only does 1 damage per tick. You can only have one decoy at a time, and the only stat that's modifiable aside from efficiency is duration with power duration. Loki's second ability is called Invisibility, where Loki camouflages himself and becomes untargetable for 12 seconds. While Loki's invisible, all sound effects are muffled and slightly muted. Loki's vision becomes blurry when he's not in motion, and his visual field becomes more sensitive to light. Now, even though the enemies can't target you when you're invisible, they will still shoot at your last known location. So if you go invisible, just move, because otherwise you're gonna get murdered. And don't worry, the invisibility will also apply to your companion. So if you have a carrier, he's gonna go invisible as well. Invisibility also makes you undetectable for enemy camera, so you can simply run through a corpus ship without worrying about the damn laser walls popping right in front of you. And despite the fact that sound effects will be muffled and slightly muted, you can still alert enemies by either using loud weapons or bumping into them. And if you think that's annoying, worry not, because that's why we have the Hushed Invisibility augment, which reduces all weapon noise by 100% when you're invisible. And yes, this works with the grenade launcher as well. Now, while this may seem like it will make you completely silent no matter which weapon you use, that's not true. You will still need to equip your weapon with an additional noise suppression mod like Hush for rifles or Suppress for pistols. We unfortunately don't have one for shotguns, so it's impossible to run around with a huge shotgun and be completely silent unless it's the Redeemer, which is classified as a melee weapon. And you can get this augment by either reaching the rank of Maxim under the Arbiters of Hexis or the rank of Exalted under the Red Veil, and it will cost you 25,000 standing. And the duration of invisibility is of course affected by power duration. Now, since you're invisible, it's pretty easy to perform melee stealth finishers, which do an absolute truckton of damage and usually kill the unit in one hit. And the amount of damage you do with a finisher like this depends on the weapon type you're using. So for daggers, dual daggers, polearms and staves, you will do 1,200% damage. With hammers, you will do a whopping 2,400% damage, and with all other melee weapons, you will do 1,600% damage. However, if you bump into the enemy or something happens and they get alerted, you cannot use stealth finishers on them. And if that's not enough, if you kill an unalerted unit, you will get 100% more affinity, which is the game's experience. And this stacks up to 5 times. So if you kill 5 unalerted units in a row, you will be getting 500 extra experience for each kill. Loki's third ability is called Switch Teleport, where Loki swaps positions with a target within 75 meters. This target can be an enemy, an ally, or even Loki's own decoy, and if it's an enemy, they will get disoriented for a brief duration and they will not attack until they reorient themselves. It's pretty much the same ability that Grineer commanders use, where they will swap position with your Warframe and your Warframe is like, well, that happened, and it's confused for a bit before you can start shooting, moving, or using abilities. The only thing you can modify with this ability is the range at which you can swap positions with your target, and that's modified by power range. The augment for Switch Teleport is called Safeguard Switch, where if you swap a position with an ally, that ally will be invulnerable for the next 6 seconds. And you can get this augment by either hitting the rank of Maxim under the Arbiters of Hexis or the rank of Exalted under the Red Veil, and it will cost you 25,000 standing. And Loki's fourth and final ability is called Radial Disarm, where Loki releases a pulse of manipulative energy, temporarily stunning enemies while depleting or jamming their ranged weapons within 20 meters. Now once you disarm an enemy, that's it. They cannot unjam their weapon, so they are now a melee unit. Radial Disarm can also deal 500 impact damage to specific enemy units. The damage is affected by power strength and it's applied to the Infested, Oxium Ospreys, Orokin Drones, the Zanuka Hunter, Goosetrack 3, Corrupted Ancients, and most bosses. The only exception are the Mutilis Ospreys, which are infested, cannot be disarmed, and don't get damaged by the pulse. And if that's not enough, most of the units that get damaged by Radial Disarm will also suffer a knockdown. Now, you might think that Radial Disarm would be pretty useless against the Infested. However, it is not. While you cannot disarm the Corrupted Ancients, it will permanently remove the arms of the Infested Leapers, Runners, Volatile Runners, and Creepers, in addition to forcing Moa into melee, so they kick you instead of shoot you, which is actually pretty funny. And of course, the range of Radial Disarm is affected by power range. The augment for Radial Disarm is called Irradiating Disarm, where enemies hit by Radial Disarm will be affected by radiation for 9 seconds, which is sort of affected by power duration, but it doesn't have too much of an effect. Now, if you don't know this, radiation causes a confusion status debuff that redirects enemies' priority to attack any units rather than just Tenno. So you basically take Radial Disarm and you turn it into Nyx's Chaos with Radial Disarm on top of that. And to get this augment, you once again either have to reach the rank of Maxim under the Arbiters of Hexis or the rank of Exalted under Red Veil. It will cost you 25,000 standing. Now, Loki and Loki Prime are one of the strongest Warframes in the entire game. The combination of Invisibility and Irradiating Disarm, or even Radial Disarm, is almost game-breaking at times. I mean, you can run around invisible and kill dudes as you please. They're not going to attack you because they don't know where you are. And even if you don't want to run around invisible and there is a big group of dudes with bombards and heavy gunners, all you have to do is pop Disarm and they will throw away their Ogres, their Gorgon, they will pull out their little stun stick and start chasing you around. It's nuts. Loki on his own can turn a level 100 sortie into a complete joke. I mean, I have to sabotage a reactor and it's guarded by a level 100 Eximus unit. I'm just gonna go invisible and run past them. Or I can disarm them and kite them around while they're running around with their itty-bitty stun sticks, and I'm gonna shoot them. That's what Loki can do, and that's why you need to get him. He's amazing. It's so much fun to run around as Loki. So go get him. If you don't want to farm Loki Prime, at least get regular Loki. He's still really good. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Sheesh. Let's hope I didn't forget anything, or the members of the Loki Master Race will eat me alive in the comment section.